Welcome back to the Breaking Down series. I have the Red DE350 behind me, and today we're going to be doing an intake and plenum spacer. So we're going to do a little unboxing today. Firstly, we have the Z1 Motorsports M-Spec cold air intake for the 350Z DE. And we have our plenum spacer, Z1 Motorsports plenum spacer. So this is going to allow for a lot more air into the combustion chamber, more air, more bang, more power. So we're going to go ahead, open these ones up, get them installed, and we've got a few little pretty extras here, which you can also find on z1motorsports.com. Firstly, get out your knife. Well, that's not a knife, mate.
That's a knife.
I'm gonna unbox this one real quick. So again, like with all of our new parts, we try to, as much as possible, supply you with new hardware. So we've got the plenum spacer hardware kit. So if you lose any of those bolts, or you know, they're kind of getting old and rusty, this car's getting older, you've got new hardware. So yeah, we do have an install instruction, sort of how to guide on doing this. This is more just sort of like a bring you along. But yeah, there is some specific torquing you have to do when reinstalling the bolts. I believe there's some spacers here for the strut brace, so it will clear. So this plenum spacer is actually adding quite a bit of lift, so to speak, to your plenum. So this is going to help the air get to the back cylinder, or to the front cylinders if you're looking at the front here, because factory they kind of have a slant, they slant down. By putting this spacer in, you're actually allowing the front cylinders to get more air, otherwise they lean out from the factory. So this is really a long term, it's going to save the engine. It's actually probably healthier and better for the engine, and it's going to give you more horsepower. So this is a no-brainer mod, and we have, you know, John, Z1 Tuner. He talks about all the time how this is such a good bang for buck mod. He sees people coming in with all the bolt-ons, you know, full exhaust, the nicest cold air intake, you know, coil packs, everything done, and someone wants to come tune their car, but they don't have a plenum spacer. And he says, hey, come back to me with the plenum spacer, then we can get the show going, because he said this is what really helps and makes power. So we're gonna get this one installed, so let's get stuck into it. Okay, so we've just installed the plenum spacer. We followed the instructions of the Z1 instruction booklet, which you can find online. And yeah, we've put the bolts in the correct spaces, reused some of the OEM bolts which is required for this kit. New gasket, the new sealing gaskets on top of the middle plenum bolts, and now we're going to torque everything down correctly. Now, some of you may say, oh, just, you know, do it hand tight and you know, have a feel for it. That's great if you want to do that. If you want it done properly and you don't want to crack your plenum chamber, which I have seen in the past, definitely worthwhile investing in a torque wrench or borrowing a friend's. That also works if you've got good friends, or if you're nice to your friends.
Or you can steal it from your friends.
Or you can steal it from your friends. Yeah, whatever you want to do. I mean,
oh, he's stealing! He's stealing!
Well, we're not telling you what to do, but you know, you're just gonna need one of these things, all right? Now, I think the spec is between 44 and 61. I'm gonna aim for like 53 on all of them, so that's a really nice middle number. Here we go. We're at like 50, and then let's do 54. How does that sound? So that's it, locked in, get our 10 mil, and we'll start talking away. Alright, so everything is torqued up. We've put everything down. Now we're just going to reattach any of the vacuum hoses that we took off. It probably wasn't really necessary, to be honest. I was probably just being a bit overly cautious. But yeah, you can just unbolt it, lift it, slide the plenum under, plonk it back on. But yeah, we're just gonna pop everything back on and then move on to the air intake. Okay guys, welcome back to day 2. Yesterday we installed the plenum spacer, and then we ran out a bit of time in the afternoon. So we've gone ahead and put the car up on some jacks and jack stands, got it up in the air so that we can do the M-Spec air intake. Let's get started. So keeping it true DIY, we have the car on our jack stands and we're going to remove the bumper just like as if you were doing it at home. So basic tools, 10 mil and a flat blade. We're going to pop this bumper off, get the air intake on, and have some fun. With the top clips off, we're now going to get the 10 mils underneath the bumper and under the sides of the, what do they call them? And remove the bolts under the wheel arches.
What's going on here, bud?
Having lots of fun and bringing friends along to have fun with me.
Friends?
Friends.
Hey, Sam.
Yep. Alright, Twins kid. Yep. Woo! That was very easy, because I did that all by myself. So next step is to remove this little factory inlet duct. Just pop that out just like the rest of our plastic clips, and it should just slide straight out. Boom. Z1 logo facing up, red pipe, red car. It's gonna look really nice. And the best part is the brand new hardware we provide with every kit. I love it. These cars getting older or, you know, sometimes a bit rusty and whatnot. And it's just so nice to have some fresh, clean hardware with your new parts. Okay, so this is my first time installing an M-Spec, and it's a little confusing seeing where this pipe goes. The best way to look at it is you have your supplied new bolt here, and if you come around to the front here, there is a perfect little spot where this bolt will sit. And you just pre-thread it a little bit. You can move this, this back slightly, and boom, done. Now we just pop that through there, screw it in, and I advise to leave it just like a little bit loose, just so you have a bit of swivel movement with this intake, and that just gives a bit of moving around room. So just a little top tip that this faces on the outside and then bolts in with the supplied new bolt. Okay. The final step, I've left everything loose and able to be moved around. We're going to install the air filter now. Another top tip is just leave good access to all the bolts and screws. So, you know, don't install this with the screw upside down. It's going to make it a lot harder for you to tighten everything. So, you know, just think ahead, plan ahead. I'm going to pop this on. You know, I want to leave nice access, whether I leave this at the top or the bottom like so. And then I can tighten it nice and easy. So I think I'm gonna go with this at the top, slide this on, tighten it up, and then just sort of work my way up. final step, clip this back in. We're pretty much done. Now for the final added horsepower, as much as this intake and plenum space is going to help, definitely a Z1 oil cap is at least going to get you 5 street cred points, for sure. As well as the Z1 Radiator cap. Combine these two together, you have the hottest car on the block, guaranteed. Alright, all done. Spacers are between, the strut brakes are in, plenum spacer's done, air intake's done, the bumper is back on. I don't think I forgot anything else. I used up all the bolts, that's always a good sign. So I'm gonna let this warm up, take it for a quick drive, and I'm gonna throw it on the dyno.
Gonna make 253 on this go round.
253, no tune, stock exhaust system, and
Plenum spacer.
plenum spacer.
And air intake, I think.
Alright, yeah. M-Spec. So, okay, cool. So it's like a healthy, you think like a healthy 10 horsepower at least?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I hope it does.
You did the perfect install, sir.
Thank you. I'm glad. I thought I messed it up. So we got a healthy, let's call it 10 horsepower.
Yeah, close
Which
to
is
it.
pretty good for plenum spacer and intake and no tune.
Yeah, so you drove the car afterwards. What do you think about it?
It could use it could use a tune.
you just had to be honest. You're like,
Yeah.
oh.
No, look, I think with the tune added, cat back, all the bolt-ons, it does have 19-inch wheels like you mentioned earlier. But, I mean, pretty impressive, man. I mean, just for bolt-on Z1 parts, I'm pretty stoked. That's easy horsepower for not
absolutely.
a lot of money. So,
Absolutely.
Value added right there.
You know what we need to just do, right?
What's that?
Boost.
Boosts?
Yeah.
Oh, we'll see. Maybe.
I like boost.
I like boost too. Thank you guys for watching this episode. We'll see you next time.